is Lindsay of everywhere else you can know me as Lost and Fond. Here I go by Larkspur Handmade, and I'm back. It's been a while. Last time we talked was about a week before Rhinebeck. And I told you I probably wasn't going to be checking in until after, and here I am. It's been 2 weeks since Rhinebeck. Excuse my dogs, I got tappy feet coming in. It has been 2 weeks since Rhinebeck, and I feel like I'm finally just kind of coming down from it. We finally have good light, so I figured now's the time to do a haul video. So yeah, this weekend I have the door open. Excuse my dogs. I do have the door open this week while I'm taping because my boys are upstairs sleeping, and I am home alone this weekend with them, so I need to be able to hear them if they need me. They are napping, so let's see, it's about 1 o'clock now, so they should go down for a nice long nap, and hopefully I have enough time to show you everything. I would love to also show you my works in progresses. However, I think my haul is going to take up a pretty sizable amount of this video. So if I don't get through it all today, this may become a two-part. This may just be haul, and then I might record tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. Hang on one sec. I have tea brewing. All right. On that note, today I'm drinking Wool and Honey's Royal Blend. This was a gift for me for my birthday from my friend Emily. I got to meet Melissa at Rhinebeck, and she was lovely. This is like my favorite. It is so good. It is a little pricey. I mean, for loose leaf tea, if you drink David's or something, it's probably not that pricey. But it's amazing if you like an Earl Grey. It has a pretty decent hit of bergamot, and then some nice smooth vanilla to kind of round it out. So that is what I'm drinking. It is in my new favorite mug from David's Tea, and it looks like stockinette, and it's in plum, which is the color of my dreams right now. I want everything in purple. So that is what I'm drinking. I'm not wearing any hand knits today, but I am wearing some knitting paraphernalia. It's a nice cozy sweatshirt. It says "Let's Get Naughty." I thought it was funny. So Rhinebeck. This was my first time going. This was actually my very first fiber festival at all. So first time traveling away from my boys. It was a big weekend for me. First time meeting two of my very dear friends from Instagram in person. There was a lot going on. So I flew out of Cleveland on Friday morning. I just barely made it to the airport on time. And then Emily flew in from Charlotte. We both flew into LaGuardia, and we met up there, which was, it just felt totally natural and normal and like we'd known each other forever, which we have, but to finally meet was so good. So we took a lift over from LaGuardia to Penn Station. We just went directly there because our connection was kind of tight. We had some lunch, and then we hopped on the Amtrak up to Rhinecliff, which is the cutest little station ever. The light's kind of doing some funny stuff. Before I show you any haul, I'll be sure to adjust it. But right now I'm just going to talk for a second. So we took the train up. The train ride was great. It was comfortable and beautiful and easy. We just had a great time talking and knitting and kind of getting amped up for everything that was ahead. We were lucky enough to meet up with Morgan, who is somewhat local. She lives in New York. And she had her car, so she picked us up from Rhinecliff Station. We got in at, I want to say about 4:30, and we had to go directly to India Untangled because we were shopping the 5 to 7 time slot. India Untangled was where I did 90% of my shopping. I didn't expect that to be the case, but I kind of, how I've described it is it was almost like I blacked out for a second. Like, it was just totally overwhelming to be around so many amazing dyers and so many amazing knitters, and the energy was so good, and I was excited to shop, and I went a little nuts. So that's where I did 90% of my shopping. That night, we really just, we kind of had our strategies. So each of us had kind of like our number one pick, and we went straight there and got what we needed. And then the rest of the time we kind of wandered around together, but it was a small venue. It was a beautiful venue. I've heard in years past, India Untangled was a little crowded. It was not this year, at least at the 5 to 7 time slot. Like I felt there were a couple booths that were pretty crowded. Magpie was super busy, but overall I didn't feel like I was cramped or pressured or anything. It was a lot of fun. And then we met up with some new friends to me, and had a great Italian dinner back in Kingston, and then just crashed at our Airbnb. We stayed up and knit for a little while, but we were so excited for Saturday, so we just slept. Saturday morning we woke up, we took our time. We didn't like get to the fairgrounds and get in line before it opened. We waited until maybe 10 o'clock to roll out. And then we went and had a little bit of breakfast and got to the fairgrounds, didn't have to wait in any lines. Hit the barns first, which was, again, totally overwhelming. It was actually more crowded there than it was at India Untangled. And just knowing there was like so much, I kind of was reluctant to do a whole lot of shopping at first because I wanted to see everything before I really committed to anything. Plus Friday night laying in bed, I kind of did some mental math, and I realized how much I had spent on Friday night, so I really wanted to be selective on Saturday, and you'll see why. But the highlight on Saturday was truly going to the hill, which is like the thing you have to do among our circle of knitters, where you just saw everybody, like all these people that I've gotten to know over the years on Instagram, all in one place, all in beautiful knitwear. Everyone was super excited. It was similar, I would say, in feeling to your wedding, when like all these different people from different parts of your life come together. This was different because it was like my tribe, and to see them all in one place and to meet them face to face was just, it's hard to describe. It was really special, and I got to meet a ton of people that I feel like I know, and then met a lot of new faces that were I mean, it was hard not to get along with everybody because we were just all a part of this big, beautiful community, and everybody was just excited and thrilled to be there and just living in this moment, and it was amazing. I got a little overwhelmed by the time we got home at about 3 o'clock, 3:30-ish. I needed a nap. I was so like exhausted from traveling on Friday and exhausted from shopping on Friday and Saturday, and emotionally just spent. I'm an introvert. Being around that many people and being that social was a little hard for me. But I'm so glad I did it, and I wish we had stayed for Sunday. We took off on Sunday morning so we could get home to our babies. Definitely plan to do it again. Hopefully next year. I'm not promising that yet. I need to really work the numbers. But I would love to. I would love to go again, and I would definitely do Sunday. I feel like if I went on Sunday, I could be a little bit more relaxed with my shopping. I could get in line. I did not get a donut. The line was too long. We were only there for one day. I feel like if I did Sunday, then I could get in line for that donut and not feel like I was missing anything. I could spend more time petting sheep and bunnies and llamas and alpacas, and just really be able to kind of relax and see everything and do everything and touch everything without feeling rushed or like I needed to, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It was so good. It was so good. And I feel like it was something I will never forget, and I made some amazing friends. So yeah, it was so good. So on to the haul. You want to see some yarn? I got mostly yarn. I feel like if I went again, I might take more time to look at things like someone that we hosted a knit night at our Airbnb on Saturday night, which was a blast. But some people had gotten a lot of like, not even just notions, but somebody had like these like sheepskin shoe inserts that were super luxe and amazing and special, and I would totally look at getting some of those for everyone in my family. So those are the kinds of things that I did not really shop because I was pretty focused on the yarn. So hang on one second. I'm gonna readjust the light and then we'll get on to the haul. Okay, so in really no particular order, we're gonna go through some of this. So I did get my fabulous Indie Untangled tote with this year's mascots. I pre-ordered this and picked it up there. I also got the enamel pin of the little stash rabbit that I don't think is on here. I'm not sure what bag I have. Oh, I know what bag I have. This was not, okay, it was actually, I consider it part of my Rhinebeck haul because I got it from Morgan. I pre-ordered it from her and she brought it so it could be part of my haul. Look at this beautiful sweater bag. This is from Morgan of Shop Knitting Nelly. She makes amazing project bags. This is her sweater size. It's humongous. And I love it so much. It has batting in it, so it stands up really nice. It's like the biggest and best bag ever. It has this cute little like seafaring sailor man on it and then some mermaids. And it's beautifully constructed. It has the same print on both sides. Nice strong brass zipper, and it's huge. These are great. She started doing more in this size and I highly recommend them. It's gonna be my go-to sweater bag forever. Plus she's the sweetest. We split a house in Kingston and it was great. So I won't show you what I'm knitting yet. Maybe if I record tomorrow. But I got the little stash rabbit pin, which is so cute. Oh, it's gonna have, there you go. My other pins I got from Shelly Can, who I also pre-ordered these and picked these up at Indie. I got the little New York Sheep and Wool 2018 donut and coffee, and then the her Indie Untangled 5th Annual Trunk Show October 2018 Rhinebeck, New York pin. It's like a little stack of sweaters. So those were my first two Shelly Can purchases, and then I also got one of her Notions pouches that were specific to this event. It's super cute. It has like her little logo on the back. I got it in the red color, and it has like all of your Rhinebeck necessities, so all of my needles. What does this say? People gazers. I don't know. The shopping list I think is pretty funny. Every skein ever. That's how I felt on Friday. So I got that. And then my big tote from her is amazing. And this is full of my haul. So here's a little preview. This is how much yarn I got. But this is the Shelly Can Festival bag, Sheep and Wool Festival. You got like the yarn barns down here. Fluke City with the sheep. Leaping llamas. We did get to see the llama parade. I'm gonna try and put that at the beginning. So you probably already saw that. On the food, and she had like different pins that you were supposed to put in different places. So I think it says if I sit, they knits down on the hill, which we did. So this was my big Shelly Can bag. It's beautifully made, expensive, but for me it was worth the price. So okay, so that was really most of my Notion purchases were that. Oh, hang on. Sorry, mailman. Did not bring me any yarn because I'm not buying yarn for a while. So Friday night purchases. Let's start with the busiest booth in Indie Untangled, which was Magpie Yarns. Magpie, I believe, is out of Maryland. And they had a huge booth, and Andrea Mowry was hanging out in there, which was totally surreal. And I got 2 skeins from this booth, both just pretty miscellaneous. I don't really have a major plan for them. The first one is from their domestic worsted, and their domestic worsted base, and the color is Norwegian Woods. So this is worsted weight, 100% superwash merino, domestic merino, and it's 200 grams. It's a beautiful dark green, the green of my dreams. I would love a sweater's quantity of this. I'm thinking a hat, probably for me. Since my eyes are green, I thought it would be really nice, or for Jared. I don't know if he'll wear green, but I thought it could go either way. It would be great for a gift knit. And the base is really pretty. It feels soft but sturdy. It's like kind of stretchy. I don't know if that's a thing, but I think it's gonna knit up really beautifully. It's slightly variegated, but not heavily variegated. So, which is kind of where I'm living right now. I'm really into tonals. And I think this color is just beautiful. It's actually reading really well. That's very true to how it looks in person. Their little label is so cute. That was actually like, no, this was not my first purchase. I'll show you my first purchase maybe next. The only other thing I got from Magpie was their PSL colorway, which was their exclusive for Indie Untangled. And I got it on their Swanky sock, which is an 80-10-10 merino cashmere nylon, and a sock weight. It's just under 400 yards. It's 378. Gosh, and I don't have a plan for this at all. It's like kind of a mocha tannish brown with orange and maroon and brown, and there's maybe even, I think it might just be the color splitting, but a little bit of blue. And it's super pretty. That was like maybe the only, no, that wasn't the only exclusive I got, but it was definitely on my list as soon as I saw it on Instagram. One of my friends got an entire sweater's quantity of this, and it's gorgeous. I can't wait to see what she makes with it. So those were my 2 purchases from Magpie. Worsted and sock, cashmere, and domestic wool. So 2 very different skeins. I did get a handful of single skeins. These are 2 of them, but I also got some sweaters quantities. So that was my Magpie purchase. I can't wait to put all this in my stash now. I've been holding off, waiting to show you, and now I'll finally be able to tuck it in with all my other stuff. So this was actually not an acquisition. This was a gift from my dear friend Emily. She gave me this beautiful skein of La Bien-Aimée in their singles base, and the color is Winter. It's kind of blowing out. There you go, that's reading. It's just a beautiful tonal off-white with some gray. I have a few other skeins of singles, one being from La Bien-Aimée, and I'm thinking they need to go together in a shawl. I don't have a lot of singles in my stash, but I love that. I mean, they're beautiful. I just don't stash it often because for me personally, it's not as versatile, but I think they're stunning and I love the way they knit up. And I would love to do a sweater in singles. Actually, do you know what I'm planning to do with this? And all of the singles in my stash, which are kind of all in the same color family. Caitlin Hunter's Alaska, which is her colorwork fingering weight sweater. And it has a really, I don't want to say loud, but it's pretty showy in most of the palettes I've seen it in. However, at Rhinebeck, I saw somebody wearing one, and it was beautiful. It was in kind of a moody gray, and then she used a lot of like low volume colors, and it was so pretty. So that's what I think I'm going to save all of my singles for. I just need to get a main color, and I think those will all go into it. So thank you, Emily. This is so special. I can't wait to find the base for that sweater because I think that would be really beautiful to wear to a future Rhinebeck. So that's La Bien-Aimée in their merino singles in Winter, which was a gift, not a purchase. On the same note, I actually won one of the Indie Untangled Knit-Along prizes for my slack-tied socks. So that was super exciting and surprising. If you don't know, every year, I think they do it every year, Indie Untangled has a knit-along where if you knit something from the time they announce it to the festival and you enter it, then you're eligible to win prizes, and they have every different category, and I won the sock category. So I got this beautiful skein. It is self-striping from Cannon Hand Dyed. And it is a self-striping in like red and pink and purple. I think it's a 4-color. The colorway is called B-Side. I don't know if that means it's like a one-off or if that's actually the color name. I'm not super familiar with them. They don't seem to have an Instagram. They just have a website. So it is B-Side on their Bruce Yak Merino, which is 70% merino, 20% yak, 10% nylon. It feels beautiful. It is super soft. It's definitely, I think it's a 2-ply, but it's a really fine 2-ply. It's not like a heavy 2-ply. Oh, it is 4-color self-striping. Duh. So this is B-Side. This was my prize. I think these might become a gift for somebody. I don't want to say who. But I kind of can't wait to cake it and knit it because I think they're going to be really pretty. So that was my prize, which was super exciting. Next. So my first stop for sure was I had to meet Kemper of Junk Yarn. I have loved her yarn forever. I have never gotten to meet her. And when I knew she was going to be at Indie Untangled, it was like I had to be there. So she was lovely. She was everything I imagined. I miss her podcast. Kemper, you should record another podcast soon. But all of her colorways are beautiful. I think I featured one in the last episode maybe that I did. But this was kind of an impulse. I feel like I've seen this, but in person I had to have it. I'm not sure how it's going to read. This is her smooth sock base, which is kind of my go-to base from her in her Liara colorway. And I do have socks planned for these. I'm thinking something original, but it's a beautiful tonal kind of periwinkle blue with some lilac. And it has some speckles of some dark blue and a little bit of pink. And I just, when I saw it, I think the color is so striking in person. It hopped in my bag. I was really feeling it. There were a couple of other colorways of hers that to see in person was amazing. I really wanted to get some of her Queens and Consorts. I have the mini skein collection, but she had the full skeins and I really wanted to get them, but I also didn't want to spend all my money in one place. So, but this one had to come home with me. So this is Junk Yarn in Liara. Just one single skein of sock. I think we're gonna be mostly doing sweaters quantities at the end. So these are all my single skeins. So that was my second purchase from Kemper. The thing that I had to get, and the reason I went to her booth first, was she has a new base that I believe she has milled for her specifically, and it's called Bloom. I'm hoping this light cooperates. I don't want to show this to you until like the light changes. Hang on. Of course, as soon as I stop the camera, it like comes right back out. So her Bloom base is 90% non-superwash merino, 10% mohair. So 90% non-superwash merino, non-superwash, and 10% mohair. And it's light fingering. When I saw it, it almost looks like a DK. Like it is so lofty. It comes in a nice heavy 550 yard skein. I do have solid plans for this. As soon as she posted it, I knew what I needed to do with it. And then the colorways that she posted, as soon as I saw this one and I saw what the name was, it was meant to be. So this is Larkspur. This is her Larkspur colorway on her Bloom base. So it's her non-superwash merino mohair base and a fingering weight. Is there a little tag? Bloom and Larkspur. There you go. And I bought 2 skeins of this. And these I am planning to use for, in the most recent issue of Lane, which I know that's not how you say it, but that's how I say it. They have the Poet Sweater, which is a lace sweater with like a 3/4 sleeve. It's kind of close to the body. And I think this is going to be absolutely beautiful in that sweater. I think I'm gonna wanna wear it all winter. And I think it'll knit up super fast. I'm in love with these. They are so soft and squishy. The base is stunning, Kemper. You need to get this in DK and worsted as well, because I want like 5 sweaters in this base. The color is beautiful. It's a nice blue. I think I can wear it with jeans without it. There goes my light. I can wear it with jeans without looking like I'm wearing denim from head to toe. I think it's a really flattering color on just about any skin tone. All of her colors were beautiful. I was really tempted. She had a beautiful green and a blush and a natural, not natural, but like a tan. And they were all really gorgeous, but I was there for Larkspur. I managed to snag 2 skeins. They were only, I want to say there were only 4 left, and I grabbed 2 that were definitely like the same dye lot. And I think they're really gorgeous. This might be my favorite purchase the entire weekend. I want to cast them on like right now, but I'm waiting for Lane to release the single patterns for purchase. So those are to be set aside for Poet specifically. So that was my first purchase of the weekend, and it was my first sweaters quantity. 2 skeins for a sweater. You can't beat that. Let's see. No, not my last single skein, but one other single skein I got was this beauty from Ritual Dye Works. I got to see her yarn in person when I was in Portland this summer. And this is her Indie Untangled 2018 exclusive colorway called 2 Roses. And the reason I got it, for one thing, is because I'm a Timbers fan. My family lives in Portland. I love the Portland Timbers. Their uniforms are green, but they used to have a kit called their Rose City Red kit, because Portland is the Rose City, which I'm assuming is why this is called 2 Roses. Sorry for my doggy. But I really don't have any red in my stash. Like, I really don't have a lot of red. And I thought this would be beautiful for something. Red is hard to photograph. It's actually reading pretty well on here. But I'm assuming maybe that's why not a lot of dyers seem to do good reds. Probably because it's hard to sell. It's just, it doesn't always read on camera well. This is just a beautiful tonal red. She had a big basket of these, and they were all very different. There were some that were more pink. There were some that were very dark. There were some that were very speckly. There were some that were very variegated. This was on the more tonal end of the spectrum, and it was kind of just more of a medium red. It's really like ruby red, which is also great because ruby's my birthstone, ruby's the boy's birthstone. So I think it's really beautiful, and I don't really have plans for it. This is on her maiden base, which is her 2-ply 80/20 sock base. And you can kind of see as the light's changing, it's reading very differently now than it did just a minute ago. But it's still super pretty. Her booth was beautiful. I also got she was giving away little progress keepers of her little logo with every purchase. So I got one of those too, and I'm using it on my sweater that I will show you if I record tomorrow. So that's 2 Roses, the Indie Untangled exclusive from Ritual Dyes. Gorgeous. Let me see. So, Farmer's Daughter was there. I have not tried their yarn before. It's always been on my list. I have a lot of friends that are big fans of their yarn, especially the Juicy DK base. So I was really excited that they were going to be there and I could really swish the bases and see the colors in person. And Caitlin Hunter was hanging out in there, who I am a huge fan of. and she was amazing. Like, we had just the most natural, normal conversation. Like, we'd known each other for years. I mean, I don't know how she does that. I feel like I'm a total goober when I meet people in person. So if I met you 2 weeks ago and I was like a total weirdo, I'm sorry. I don't do well under pressure. At least not socially well. I can do my job under pressure, but anyways. So Farmer's Daughter was there. I did get a sweaters quantity from them, which I have very specific plans for, but this was a single skein I got from them also in their Craggy DK base, which is 85% merino, 15% NEP, Nep, in the elk antler colorway. I had intended this to be used for a hat for the boys, or 2 hats for the boys. Now that I have it home, I'm like, they're not going to appreciate this. Like, they're going to wreck it. And I mean, while my knits are meant to be used and loved, they're just going to beat it up and grow out of it in 6 months. So I think I'm going to make my husband a hat out of this. It's a really pretty, like, natural tonal tan with beautiful tweed in it. It's a super silky, super squishy DK base. A sweater would be amazing in this base. Like a really cable-y men's wear inspired shawl neck, squishy cardigan would be gorgeous. So I got that one single skein of this one, and then I need to dig for the next one because it's at the bottom of my bag. So hang on one second. Digging down. So this I have a very specific purpose in mind. We all wore our Codikas shawls to Indie Untangled, our whole house did. And my friend Emily knit hers in, I believe, mostly Farmer's Daughter and their Juicy DK base, and she sent me the scraps, which are beautiful. So what I had planned for those was I really wanted to do a Tin Can Knit Strange Brew. So that's their kind of recipe for a yoked pullover that you design yourself. And I have some ideas I'm mulling over for it, but I needed a main color. So I don't want to show you the yarn because it's in a crinkly bag and it's just going to be a whole big mess, but it's pinks and mustards and like a blackish color. So I thought I wanted like a natural for it, but then when I got there and I was looking at the naturals and she was wearing her shawl, which was great because I was able to kind of hold it up to things and find the right match for it. And this was definitely something that was on my list. I was looking at the whites and the naturals and just nothing was really working for me. But then Emily pointed this out and it was totally outside the box, but I think there was like only 5 skeins left. And so it seemed like fate. So this is in their Juicy DK base, and the color, I believe, let me check, is Monarch. I'm just gonna hold up one. It is a stunning, rosy, terracotta, warm, mauve-y pink. That's a lot of descriptive words. This really changes in different lights. The way it's reading on camera is really almost, like, what would you call that, rose? But in certain lights it definitely leans more orange terracotta. It looks amazing with the scraps that she sent me, so I think it's going to be really special. Their Juicy DK base is everything everybody said it was. I know the stitch definition is going to be beautiful. The colors knit up so nicely, or like the colors dye up so nicely on it. All the colors in this were so pretty. So this is Monarch. It's 100% superwash merino. It's a generous 274 yards. It feels like a true DK. And I think the color is so pretty. I think it's going to be really pretty on me too. I got 5 skeins, which should be plenty for the main color of my sweater. And then I'm going to do a beautiful yoke with it. And I think that's gonna be a really special piece. The fact that I got the yarn with Emily and she helped me pick it out and I'm using her scraps, I think it's gonna be really sentimental. So this was a big purchase, but worth it. It's so pretty. And I'm in love with it. I can't wait to put it up the top shelf. On my shelf is all my sweaters quantities, and it's actually pretty modest. I don't feel like my stash of sweaters quantities is huge compared to other people's. So I'm really excited to stack these up there where I can see them and dream about casting them on, which I'd love to do this winter, but we'll see. I've got some other stuff queued up, so no immediate plans to cast that on. I think it's going to take me some time to really figure out how I want that yoke to look. So I'm going to get a quick drink before I show you what's really my last. So far this has all been Friday night. So my last Friday night purchase, this was totally unplanned, is from Fuse Fiber Studio, who is new to me. I did not know her work at all. I did not plan to shop with her really. We wandered into the booth and met her, and I can't remember what her name is right now. I'm so sorry. You were lovely and a wonderful, wonderful salesperson. This is where Emily and I really started like enabling each other's purchases, and I think where we kind of went over the edge a little bit, but no regrets because I got to take home something amazing. I've been obsessed with Caitlin Hunter's Ingalls sweater since the first time she posted a preview of it. This is her DK weight yoked sweater that has like a yoke of like flowers or snowflakes. I'm not sure which one it's supposed to be, but it kind of looks like both, with a little bit of lace. And she holds, for the contrast, she uses mohair held double with DK, I believe. Either that or it might be mohair with fingering, I'm not sure. I was hoping it would be fingering because I had a sweaters quantity set aside for it. It ended up being DK for most of it. So I didn't have anything I wanted to use for it. And then I wandered into Fuse. And she had this beautiful skein of 40% baby alpaca, 40% merino wool, 20% silk. So this is called her Fifi DK base. And you can kind of see it has a halo. Like it's a singles base, and her beautiful, it's muscat, I don't know. But it's this pretty blushy pink, and it has this gorgeous halo on it. And so when I saw it, the amazing dyer suggested that it would be perfect for an Ingalls. You could use this for the contrast, and then you would not have to deal with holding double with mohair. You could just use this, which is genius. So I picked this skein up, loved the color, of course, because everything, half my skein is blush. Had to have at least one of these, and then I was convinced, lovingly convinced. Let me adjust a little bit. Lovingly convinced that I needed to cast on the Ingalls like immediately. So I needed a contrast, and Emily and the lovely dyer helped me pick out this beautiful color, which is steel, and this is on her Fuse Merino DK, which is 100% superwash merino. So steel and muscat, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. These are going to become my Ingalls. I got 5 skeins of the steel, which is this beautiful charcoal black-ish color. It actually, in some lights, the green kind of pops out. It's not doing that right now, but it definitely, you can almost see it in this one on the end, like a little bit of green. I think I have one that maybe reads more. No. I know I have one that does, when I get it in certain lights, I can see more of that green. So this is Fuse. And I think this is going to be really, really lovely. It's everything I love. I love a dark background with a pastel. I think it's going to be amazing, and I cannot wait to start this. It's like all I thought about the whole weekend. Every time I like looked at everything I bought, this was the thing that was like, I can't wait to start that. I think it's because I'm working on a fingering weight sweater right now, so all I want to do is cast on like a DK or a worsted weight sweater, which I will talk about tomorrow because I have some pretty serious plans. But it's so pretty. All of her colors were beautiful. She had this one color called Pearls that was a beautiful blush with like orange speckles. Maybe there was some purple and pink, I'm not sure. But I wanted all of it. I let somebody else buy all of it though, so no regrets. I might need to get some in the future though, because I can't stop thinking about it. So yeah, Fuse, I'm a huge fan now. Her work is beautiful. Her bases are all lovely. Her colors are to die for, and she was just a wonderful person. So definitely check them out. So that was my Friday night. I did some damage, but I have zero regrets about any of it. Like, it is all so good. I saved for this. I waited for this. I have plans for almost all of it, and I had a great time. I left feeling content, not like I missed anything, not like I spent too much, maybe a little bit, but I love everything I got. So the only thing I got on Saturday at Rhinebeck was one single skein. And I think this kind of is the perfect single skein to get there. I was going to get a sweaters quantity at Rhinebeck, but I didn't have enough cash. Oops. So now I know for next year, definitely bring more cash and hit one particular booth, because they have a yarn that I need. I need now, but they don't accept cash and they don't have a website, so I'm just gonna have to go again. This is from White Barn Farm, and their booth was gorgeous. It was very crowded, but it was beautiful. And they have a website, which is White Barn Sheep and Wool, and I got this beautiful base in their Home Aran weight Cormo. It's all Cormo and California Red, and it's a hand spun, and it's like these beautiful dusty purples, and there's like some greenish sea foam, and oop, we're blowing out. Here comes the sun, guys. Like taupey kind of colors, and then a lot of natural white, and it's squishy hand spun gorgeousness. And what I would love to do with this is I would love to do a yoked sweater in this with I'm not sure what color. Wow, now it's like perfectly sunny and lovely. It's gonna go away. You can see my mug better. Whatever. So this was my only Rhinebeck purchase, this beautiful skein of hand spun. It's technically Aran. I mean, we'll have to see when I swatch it up if I can maybe use it interchangeably for worsted, because there's definitely seems to be more options I like for a yoked sweater in worsted than there is in Aran. But I think it would knit up really cool for something. I don't know if I'd pair it with just a natural, or if I would put it with maybe like a dark purple I thought could be really pretty. But I know it needs to be a yoke. So it does not have a name. There's no colorway name. But it's beautiful and sheepy and squishy, and it smells like a farm, which I love. I wish I had gotten more from them because everything was so pretty. But I don't know, there was something on Saturday I just wasn't feeling spendy. I think I was more excited to meet people and to see things and to eat yummy food. The only thing we ate at the festival was like hot apple crisp with vanilla ice cream, which was perfect. But I just really wasn't feeling spendy or shoppy. But I splurged on this and I love it. They had so many colors that I thought were perfect and were so me, but this one really jumped out. It's very subtle, it's very quiet, but I think it's so pretty. So I love to make a Christmas sweater out of it. There's a pattern out now that I just saw recently that has like a yoke of Christmas trees, and I thought that might be the one. So that was my Saturday purchase. Beautiful. So that was it. That was the haul. Trying to think if I got any other notions or anything. Not really. You saw my pins, you saw my bags, you saw the yarn. That's what I got. I got the boys a couple of Thomas the Tank Engines just at Barnes & Noble while we were waiting for our train. And that was their souvenir. And I got my husband some cashmere goat's milk soap. And that was his souvenir, and that's about it. I mean, that's a lot. I bought a lot. But again, no regrets. I managed to get everything home in my suitcase. I didn't have to check anything, thank goodness. And I can't wait to integrate it into my stash. I can't wait to knit with something. I don't know what's going to be first. I'm thinking maybe that magpie. I think I might have to do the bracket hat, which I believe was an Elaine issue. I can't remember who the designer is, but it's like a cabled worsted weight hat, and I think that would be beautiful in that green color. It would be something I would wear all the time. So that might be my first post Rhinebeck haul cast on. Yep. So that was very long. I did not intend to go that long, but I did. So thank you for joining me. I will probably record tomorrow and we can have like a regular episode, but I think this one's I'm gonna kind of cut it here so that we've covered, we covered a lot. And if people don't want to watch a haul video, they can skip it and watch the next one, which will have more regular knitting content. But loved the experience, would totally do it again, met some amazing people, too many to name by name, but you know who you are. It was just so cool to meet you all and to finally get in some FaceTime and to knit with you and to eat with you and to just hang out on a couch and have some girl time was just what I needed. Getting back was not easy, but when I came home, I was ready to come home. Like I missed my boys. That was the longest I've ever been away from them, and my husband was so wonderful to let me do this. He's actually away this weekend having his time, so yeah, hopefully I can go next year. I'd love to go next year. I'd also love to, there's a number of fiber festivals I would love to hit. I'm thinking maybe I'll come down next year and do the one near Emily in Charlotte. I can't remember what it's called now. Shoot. The one, it just happened like last weekend. But that's it. So we'll talk knitting soon. But thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you discovered some new amazing dyers. And I will see you soon. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.